Yes, it's another lovely day, and you're right here tuned to the program Ground Zero. And Ground Zero is coming to you on Procyon Radio and television via Invicta FM for those who are listening to us via terrestrial. And of course, the program is one where we pick up topical issues in the polity and with analysts in house and, of course, the guests. We do our best to give you a better and clearer understanding of the issues that we are all raising all of the time. And on the program today, we'll be doing a review of the Buhari administration and the expectations from the incoming Tinubu government at the national or federal level. And we'll be looking at the Air Fire administration and expectations from the incoming Umbasani government in Kaduna State. My guest on the program today, I have Lawrence Obewe. He is a citizen and, of course, do I also say an activist and comrade? He is the convener of Reset Nigeria Project. And also with me in the studio, I have Otumba Olufolorunsho. He is a publisher and a political analyst. Added to the further that includes a political, a practicing politician.
Professional politician.
All of that are just some of his accolades. And on the program today, we'll be looking at how we can do all of that together. And of course, the program is coming to you live from Procyon Radio and Television. We are online on Procyon Radio and Television, and on terrestrial, you can get us via Invicta 98.9 FM. And we are coming to you straight from the Procyon Media Center right here in Kaduna. And my name is Ehis Adbon, and the program is one that gives opportunity to listeners and viewers to also call in. And for listeners and viewers, you can do that by going to our various social media handles across board. Generally, we have one unified social media handle, which is Procyon RTV. We are on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, TikTok, and of course, YouTube. So I would encourage you, you can go to YouTube right away to watch us live, because we are streaming live on YouTube and also streaming live on Facebook. On Facebook, just look for Procyon RTV. Procyon RTV stands for Procyon Radio and Television. That's where you can get us, Procyon RTV. And we will, at the right time, we'll open up the phone lines for you to also call. And for those that want to drop their WhatsApp voice notes and messages, you can also do that via our line. Our line is 0809 799 1989. 0809 799 1989. Those are the numbers that you can get us by. And as soon as Lawrence Obewe joins us in the studio, he'll be stayed here. Already I have Otumba Olufolorunsho. Otumba Olufolorunsho, you are welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. It's a delight to be here.
All right. Okay. Just a minute. We are having issues linking up to Invicta FM from the Procyon Media Center. Let's see what's happening to the network now. All right, we are back. We are back. Yes, like I said, for those that want to listen to us via terrestrial, the number to dial, the place to go to is YouTube and Facebook, where we are streaming live. The handle is at Procyon RTV. At Procyon RTV is a place to go to get us. We are streaming live. And for those that are listening to us on Invicta 98.9, we want to apologize for that little glitch. We had shot the link from our studios to Invicta FM. Like I said, Otumba Olufolorunsho is already here with me. And as soon as Lawrence Obewe comes in, he will join us in the program. Now, in the past, roughly about 8 years, we've had the opportunity of experiencing the Buhari years at the federal level and the El Rufai years in Kaduna State. And for many people, they have their different impressions about the administration. But during the course of this, both at the federal and the state level, there were developments across board and also introduction of new things. Like in Kaduna State, for instance, it was in this administration that we had the opportunity to know what is called open government partnership. And Kaduna State was the first nation state in Nigeria to be signed up to the OGP, that's the Open Government Partnership. And this is a system or platform that has been put in place to make governance more open, getting the citizens involved in everything about governance. At the federal level too, yes, Nigeria tried their best to be part of it and all of that. But the most important thing when it comes to the administration is the quality of governance. And for those that still feel saying the quality of governance is a little bit big for them, we are looking at how happy Nigerians have been in the past 8 years, how prosperous they've been in the past 8 years, how entrenched has democracy been in the past 8 years, how freedom of speech has, how the citizens have had freedom of speech, both at the state and the federal level, and all of that. And while looking at this, we will not be going too much into technical languages that people may not easily understand, but saying it as it is and ensuring that the citizens understand what we are saying. Now, Otumba Olufolorunso, give us an overview of your understanding or your general impression about these past 8 Buhari years.
Thank you very much, listeners, and thank you, the peacemaker. See, the task before me, as much as it is onerous, I think it's a simple one, because there are 4 people involved in this discourse. Unfortunately, of the 4, I am close to almost all the 4, all of them. And if I were to percentagize it, I think the least among them that I'm not that close to should be Malam, of which you can still say I was about 40% close as the former director of media, APC Kaduna State. Well, the past 8 years of Buhari, let's start from there. Well, it was full of expectations, because then we were coming from a background from the fact that with Buhari in government, a lot of things will automatically change. With most of us, I inclusive, forgetting that the Buhari we know as a military man will certainly not be the Buhari as a Democrat. Because a lot of bureaucratic instrumentalities are involved when democracy is in practice, of which both some of these are positive and some are negative. There are a lot of banana peels that were set on his way, either knowingly or unknowingly. And there were a lot of assumption on his side, either knowingly or unknowingly. So when he was coming, he was boisterous and...
Okay, just a minute. Lawrence Obewe, I wouldn't know if we'll be able to connect with you via WhatsApp, if that's okay. The network is quite... Lawrence Obewe, are you with us? It's not quite audible. You are not quite audible, but we just do me a message, please. Do me a message. If you are with us, just do me a message. All right, Otumba.
Thank you very much. As I was saying, you see, when Buhari was coming in, the nation expected a lot from him because of the background of where we were coming from. But unfortunately, when he came in, there were a lot of things he met on ground, which either knowingly or unknowingly, he was not expecting. And when he got there, he started taking governance as a matter of as led governance for some of his ministers and advisors. And when you leave governance for your ministers and his advisors, then you are now at their whims and caprices. And just as the philosopher said, the worst thing that can happen to a man in life is to allow somebody else to reason for you. I think the problem of President Buhari was for allowing his ministers, advisors, aides, and assistants at it were to be the reasoning faculty of his government.
Okay, but is that not what some people also accused Goodluck Jonathan of?
Yes, that was why I said, considering the background where we were coming from, we were all expectant. That was why you could see some people trekking all the way from Bauchi, from Maiduguri to Lagos to have a glimpse of who the Buhari is. But to some of us who had known him right since 1984, and even when he was retired in his house in Kaduna here, as journalists we met him on several occasions. It was no longer it was no longer the story of a young boy trying to see the masquerade. So, but I must confess, I was one of those that were disappointed in him.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now let's look at how we will go about this. Okay, I just got a message from Lawrence now. Okay, Lawrence, so sorry about what's happening. Not to worry, we will see what to do about it. Okay, yes, there's something that came up that he had to urgently attend to. That's around by Vivila. Okay. We all know what's happening there now. So sorry about that. All right, stay coming back to the program now and talking about the Buhari. Yes.
So that does not take away the fact that President Muhammadu Buhari recorded some huge successes.
All right.
In his 8 years. But because if there is one fundamental amendment to the Constitution which he enacted or signed into law, which for a very long time will remain a milestone, which is the removal of power, generation of power from exclusive list in the Constitution to the concurrent list, whereby states in Nigeria, all the states in Nigeria could generate their power, transmit their power, and distribute their power. And if you go to the historical years of America, that was what signposted them, that shot them to economic limelight, because power is so important. Even at this our media center here now, you could see how many times we have gone out to check out the generator, which we are using in-house there. So power is so fundamental, and that one we must give it to General Buhari. Unfortunately, some of his allies, his aides, they were not professional enough to sing some of his achievements. Because I think some of them were there either by way of Sherlock, and when they got there, they turned into issues of personal aggrandizement. That issue of power alone could give General Buhari a global award. That is to say, Ondo State could generate power from More. Enugu could generate power from Enugu with coal and distribute. So then the other man on the street is not bothered. Provided there is power for him to stay at home, the youth will do their computer, do their barbing. A lot of things will work out. So he did that one successfully. And if you are also talking of the infrastructure construction by way of road reconstruction, you can see what is happening along Abuja, Kaduna, Lagos. Gradually, the road reconstruction from Kaduna, Abuja is almost in Kaduna here now. And within the next few months, I think this thing will get to Lagos. Look at Ibadan to Lagos. That was almost becoming a cankerworm for every government that comes in to execute. Baba Buhari completed it. And are you to talk about the second Niger bridge? So although, like I said earlier, I am not happy with the way Baba Buhari ended the twilight of his administration.
Okay. Olufolorunsho have spoken about some of the things that this administration at least did right, the pluses and all of that. And of course, how Buhari has been able to put one or two things, though not meeting 100% his expectations, but one cannot say that he did not do anything. He did some things, of course. And let's look at the Kaduna State now.
Okay. Thank you, sir. On my assessment of Malam Nasir Verify outgoing 8 years, But permit me to quickly chip in something. You will see when I was assessing Buhari, I did not talk about security.
Yeah.
Because I've always been saying it, even on this platform. Security is everybody's business.
All right.
Yes.
Let's see if I can. Hello.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm happy to be here.
All right. So Olufolo Show.
So
Now,
as I was saying, security is everybody's business.
Yeah.
It will be very myopic and a little bit dishonest on my part to apportion this issue of insecurity that has become a national cankerworm to either the Buhari administration at the federal or to Malam Nasiru at the state. That is my own view.
Yeah.
Because I believe security is all encompassing. Everybody must be involved. So let's leave that one at that level. As to the issue of 8 years of Malam Nasiru, there's something most people have forgotten and which you cannot take away from Malam Nasiru. He said it from the outset that he is an accidental public servant.
Yeah.
And when you look at it from this background, somebody who have come out openly to tell you is an accidental public servant means the man is more of an activist than a politician. And to him, most of the thing by way of conviction is doing the best. So the little time I work as a director of media, APC, I know my limits. And even when we have opportunity to go to Osogbo or Akure to either represent him or to be in the lead of those who will be there before him, I always tell people that the man that is coming to address you at this symposium is a man that will bear it all, that will say it as it is. So you cannot take that away from him. But actually, since democracy is about the people, I will still score Malam Nasiru El-Rufai below 50% in his 8 years of governance in Kaduna State. Because democracy is about the people. And Shibami Awolowo said, where the people's welfare and security are not paramount, it means there is no democracy. And it is in this wise and this case that I will blame him. That if you know you are more of an activist, why did you come for the slot of governorship, slot of Kaduna State?
Okay.
Although we all knew that it was a sort of a gift from Baba Buhari, because if you look at it, there were there the party structure was firmly in the hand of Ashiru.
Yeah.
But when he came in being humble and apologetic. Then Baba Buhari influenced the decision that I want my own to be here. And the gentleman Ashiru is, which you cannot take away from him, he surrendered the whole thing to him. That was what brought Malam Nasiru to power in 2014. And you can see, as it is, when it comes to infrastructural development, hardly would anybody that have left this state about 10 years ago come back now. I would still say Kaduna was the Kaduna of yesterday. No. The man has tried when it comes to infrastructural development. A lot of innovation have been brought in, open governance. He was the first governor to pay minimum wage in Nigeria. He was the first governor to pay 30,000 naira minimum wage to all pensioners. But the issue is, how far did he carry the people along?
Okay.
And if the democracy in question is about the people, and you don't carry the people along. Anyway, I know I'm not a jump lecturer, or now a white lecturer. But if I'm to mark a script, I will certainly score him below 50%. Okay.
Yeah, you've heard that. Let me come to Danjuma Abbas now. First, we'll look at the Buhari 8 years, an overview. Then we'll also do an overview of the El-Rufai 8 years before we now go and do an expectation of the 8 years of Tinubu and Obasani, etc. Danjuma Abbas, over to you now. A review of the Buhari 8 years in general. Oh, we just lost Danjuma Abbas. Let's see. I think the network is playing some tricks on us now. We just lost him. We are trying to reconnect back to him. Meanwhile, you are listening to and viewing Ground Zero coming to you on Procyon Radio and Television and for terrestrial via Invicta FM. And on the program, All right, I think we have Danjuma Abbas back now. Danjuma, all right, Danjuma, are you with us? Okay, let us, all right, let's get talking. Just a minute. End end this call and connect back to us. There's a glitch now. Just end the call, then connect back to us. Yes, you are connected to us now, Danjuma.
Buhari's 8 years in the government. Uh, President Muhammadu Buhari went to the 2015 general elections. Uh, so at that time, the deliverables he had mentioned for Nigerians on his manifesto was security, economy, and they constituted the crux. Security, the economy, and corruption constituted the crux of President Muhammadu Buhari's ascension to office. Again, that because of his posture, the person that the people believed he was, President Muhammadu Buhari attracted people and voters who were interested in a corrupt-free Nigeria. People who believed that it required political will, it required people who were men of steel to take decisions, stand by them, and advance the interest of the Nigerian people who wanted a society where there was economic prosperity for all, the community society that was secured, and also where corruption was at its least. And certainly, President Muhammadu Buhari seemed to identify most of those things that really were of interest to the citizenry, and so much so that there was no doubt whatsoever that that was just the right man for the job. At that hour, whatever the incumbent party and the leadership or administration at that time too was doing was not greeted with the same kind of lenses of optimism that the President Muhammadu Buhari's candidacy at that time, promised. Fast forward now, we have seen corruption manifest in very new dimensions. In 2015, the issues were the manifestation rather of corruption from 2015 to 2019 immediately brought Nigeria back to a point where it wasn't anymore about corruption; it was about national unity, because nepotism seemed to be one issue that you could not easily argue with the Buhari administration. In no distant time, remember again, the man who had contested for these elections up to about 4 times came back in, won elections, and this time around, he spent over months. It took about until November since getting power handed over to him in May. It got to about November before President Muhammadu Buhari named his ministers. At that time, you remember the statement that was accredited to him that ministers are noisemakers. Permanent secretaries are the real people who do the job. Eventually, President Muhammadu Buhari designed an economic recovery group plan, which was different from the transformation agenda or plan that the PDP administration implemented until 2015 when they handed over power in May. One critical fact about that program, which has been running up to about 2020, was that President Muhammadu Buhari enjoyed 8 years in office where most of the issues that were contained in that plan, if only they were addressed, would have really, addressed real critical issues in Nigeria that would have really combated security, economic, and also the wars around corruption. But it was a document that was never the playbook of governance. It was never the playbook. Certainly, it was never the playbook, around the livelihood improvement program that citizens would have loved to see. At the end of it all, We have now a situation where we've seen corruption manifesting in security administration. We've seen corruption manifested in the administration of justice. We've seen corruption manifested even in terms of financial system were opened up by people who have served in the offices at general. We've seen people who have gone to manage even EFCC come out of it with very stained hands. Just now again we're having an accusation, of course, on the EFCC chairman. We've also seen unbridled appetite for lending, for borrowing. And the borrowing, we are now being told up to the tune of 77 billion now. This is where we are. According to the central bank governor, 23 billion US dollars have been used for subsidy alone in 2022. And if you look at the cost of the Dangote refinery that we're celebrating today, the entire net worth of that refinery and facility is 20 billion US dollars. So certainly from where we were in 2015 to where we have come to now, fuel subsidy has risen from the threshold of over 300 billion up to now estimated funds that is now touring above 7 trillion naira per annum in terms of subsidy regime. So the idea that President Muhammadu Buhari, before getting into office, had called the subsidy regime a fraud, and in his own time, Ibe Kachuku, who was the Minister of State for Petroleum, told Nigerians that subsidy had been removed. What we have now is price adjustment. Today, price adjustments have led to PMS being sold, and not even at the regulated prices. People are accessing these petroleum products at the rate of 210, 230, and even above that. And then to add to that, the regulated price, as we have always known, is supposed to be at 197. The compensation now is that the government of the day does not have even the instruments to maintain a PMS regulated price regime all across the territory of within the territory of Nigeria. And then the same government has invested so much in what is called a multinational joint task force. And until just recently, we have found that we are in a state where most of these neighboring nations, where we have been contributing in terms of resources and human capital pool to make sure that there is a regional security network that is addressing the issue of insurgency, banditry, and terrorism, are enjoying more peace than the Nigerian state. And then when you come to look at the kind of state of banditry that we're seeing, we're having people who are killing citizens, defenseless citizens, sacking communities, and they are not running from the law. They are not running to go to our borders to get out of this nation because nobody seems to be really chasing them. So if the security and welfare of people is anything to go by, you really would see that the level to which the Nigerian citizen has been broken cannot really be overemphasized. And so free enterprise is at risk. Our GDP is in tatters because at the current state that we're in, primary industry is at a huge risk. Livelihoods around there have been adversely affected. We've not gotten the commensurate measure to address issues around climate change. We are still faced with energy crisis. The investments, even in terms of infrastructure like rail right now, we're actually working backwards because rail facilities all across Nigeria are now the target of people perpetrating vandalism. And as these vandals continue to attack this critical infrastructure, they continue to increase the cost at which we are actually investing in infrastructure. That aside, most of these loans that are tied to some of these projects and programs that we're talking about today, in terms of construction, most of the raw materials now, there is no significant contribution of local content in them. Consider rail, for instance, we still have to import steel, we still have to import expatriate personnel, even whom perhaps we have not also used any parameters of measurement locally to ascertain that they are indeed professionals who they say they are, and there is nothing fraudulent about their qualifications. And then we have also not been able to even
like less than what?
Recently, we became more like the laughing stock of the global community because our citizens were nearly the last to leave Sudan to leave Sudan in a crisis like that. So the issues are just endless. But that's for President Muhammadu Buhari. Now you come down to the perspective of Kaduna State. The slogan was making Kaduna great again.
Yeah.
And that has been the manifesto of Malam Nasir El-Rufai. And for some of us who actually have been in Kaduna for decades and have good history and grounding about Kaduna again, we actually understand what it means to make Kaduna great again when it comes to public service delivery. I tell people who came to listen that most of what you find in Abuja is actually mirroring what Kaduna was at a given point in time. Now today, we are now in a situation properties are being demolished and by whatever measures we cannot understand. We have a situation where statements that are actually coming from public officials have really been exacerbating crisis, chaos, and insecurity. We have a situation where water as a critical social amenity or public supply is actually now in doubt because nearly every time you go across the streets of Kaduna, whether within the urban metropolis or suburbs, you find people working with kegs and they are not looking for PMS, they are looking for water. Water is what they are going around looking for. The taps are not running anymore. People have to depend on borehole facilities. I can tell you that in the event of most of this energy crisis that we're having around power outages, people in the state now will spend days without adequate water supply because the people who pay the bills to pump water to their tanks to allow fetch freely do not have will only be catering for themselves in the event of such emergencies. And so there is this level of disconnect with really what is actually going out there as far as public service delivery is concerned. Now, that aside, I like what the guest in the studio has also mentioned about citizens' engagement, carrying the people along. As part of the current state development plan of Kaduna State, there is the regularization of communities, organic communities. Organic communities are this kind of angwa that we have where people have come together, form a community that predates what government had developed as master plan and what have you. And then in some instances, these are developments that are still ongoing. And in some places, people have even gone to the point of making out layouts and everything, to be in place. But now we have a reviewed master plan that citizens don't have access to, have no really real insight about. And then a government that is promoting regularization is being seen pulling down properties and structures. In some instances, people have gone to court to win the same state government on some of these litigations about rights being infringed and what have you. So much bills that is just being left piling on the state government over decisions of individuals who are within the corridors of power. Now, you bring down the issue of agriculture as the major employer of labor in Kaduna State. How much is the budget that agriculture has enjoyed? What kind of support mechanisms have the government of the day been able to provide for agriculture in Kaduna State? I want to assure you that agriculture has never enjoyed up to 10% of the budget. We're talking about 10% is even a far cry. We're talking as much as 3% of the budget of Kaduna State government, and that is where over 46% of our population is gainfully employed, or better yet, for those who feel underemployed are able to augment, for their own livelihood and also improve the GDP. By the way, that agriculture is contributing to Kaduna State as a state is up to 36%. But these are actually sectors that have been neglected, sectors that have enjoyed little to nothing. And you look at the level of emergency response and even the level of risk and disasters and shocks that Nigerian citizens are faced with in Kaduna State. You score government along that line, you actually can see where the performance room for engagement. The Open Government Partnership, for instance, provides that for such robust engagement. However, the sincerity of government in itself, to drive and advance for some of these reforms to really take root and also uphold the rule of law are most of the time the issues that are in doubt. For instance, no matter how beautiful the roads in Kaduna are, for the fact that citizens do not know how much these roads are costing is already, a challenge. The last time I had to deliberate about the Kawo Bridge, we were seeing budget performance of up to 7 billion naira for just that bridge, and another funding plan that was now in the same budget for 2022 at that year, about 4 billion again going into the same project. So when you look at all of these overarching issues, that yes, infrastructure has been delivered, but hey, what's the process that it passed? How many of these roads that we are seeing today really went through open competitive bids? And then when you look at Bernawa and some other communities where Gilmore Constructions, then Tata and Sao and other construction companies were doing the road township project, why did they stop? Why have they packed up? Why do we still have some of those projects that are still uncompleted? And then what is the quality of what has been delivered? You drive around Kaduna today, I can tell you, just take the road down by now, the pavement where the pedestrian walkway is already something that people with disability can use, the aged can use them because already the concrete are caving in. So these are just the parameters within which we can say that yes, even if infrastructure and service delivery, this is what we're getting, whether or not we're getting value from money.
All right. Thank you so very much, Dangwa. I just decided to lay back so that you just run through and give us all that we need to know. This is to let our listeners on Invita 98.9 FM know that we are having some technical hitches linking up with them. But of course, you can watch us via Facebook and YouTube as we are transmitting live there too. And this is to fully assure you that by the next edition of the program, you'll be able to listen to us loud and clear from that's on our Procyon Radio app. All right, you're still listening to the program Ground Zero right here on Procyon Radio and Television, coming to those listening to us via terrestrial on Invicta FM. And once again, to apologize for the little break in communication. There was an issue with linking up from the Procyon studio to Invicta FM. Thankfully, we are back now and we'll go on with it. Now, Olufolo Show, we had all that Dangwa said. I haven't listened to all that you also said. I think it would be right and just for us to open up the phone lines now. We'll get some input from them. We'll still come back to the studio. Now, we are looking at a review of the 8 years of the Buhari administration and also that of Malam Nasser El-Rufai, and also looking at the outlook or our expectations from the Tinubu administration and the Ubasani administration in Kaduna State. All right. The number to dial to be part of the program is 0809-799-1989. And of course, you can go to our various social media handles and drop your comments and observations. And the handle is at Procyon RTV. Procyon is spelled Procyon RTV. And for those that missed a little bit of the program when we had that discommunication from Procyon Studio to Invicta, you can also go back to our Facebook page, our YouTube page, and also watch the part of it that you missed out from. Again, the handle is Procyon RTV. Procyon is spelled Procyon RTV. Let us take our first call this evening. Hello, good evening, and welcome to the program. What's your name and where are you calling us from? Good evening.
Good evening,
God bless you, sir.
Mr. Kure, you are welcome.
He has analyzed very well, including that Juma. But honestly, let us tell ourselves the truth. If that's how democracy is being practiced, I think many people will die before their day. My question is very simple. You don't have what is going on in the banking villa. At least there is many ways to catch a rat. at least he would have taken diplomacy, since these people have already gone to court and the court ruled that case in favor of them. I'm not an advocate of riot, but he will have taken another way. See that. Some people, that's their last chance. So one of me that he has collected my land, why would I tell him? Without no compensation, nothing. And I have to let it be because they have built a shrine for there. And Buhari has tried his best, but his best is not good enough, including the manner he said. They are good, our expectation was so high. That's why many people are not even celebrating when after that May 29th. That's the one I put there. I wish Tinubu would make the ground to run very fast. That's the one I put there. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Kure, for your contributions. 0809-799-1989 is the number to dial, and Procyon RTV is the handle to check it out on all of the social media platform. All right. Now let's talk about expectations from Tinubu at the federal, and of course Ubasani at the state level. Tinubu, from your understanding of Tinubu, though you mentioned some earlier,
Yes.
his ability to be able to hold the states for years, even when they had no subventions. Let's take this call. Sorry, please. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Ground Zero.
Hello, good evening, and your guest at the studio here.
Good evening. Quickly, let's have your review of Buhari and El-Rufai.
Yes, my name is Comrade Gentleman.
Yeah.
The problem is that I cannot say something about El-Rufai now because I'm just very close to where there's a big tension on this particular issue. But they are bringing that from houses here, and the police, the soldiers are here. So I'm not prepared for Buhari. In fact, first of all, let me thank him for this part, insecurity and others. He was able to keep this country together. So I think it's a very good something. And because I'm one of those who even cried by the radio side when he was crying by 2015 when he wanted to come here. So I say that congratulations to Buhari, and even the election we did, though the matter is still in court, it was peaceful. So I think he tried his best. But on our own side, when the northern governors came and the board electors and organized that limited, in fact, they had an agreement with one investor to come and produce armed forces and police uniform here in Nigeria. When the government was taken to him, between the office of leadership of time to his president, and his office, that time they reversed it back to the idea up to today. What they are doing is they are still building there.
Hello, Comrade Gabriel. Hello. Comrade Gabriel, your line is breaking up. We can hardly hear you. Let's take another call. Yes, quickly.
Yes, thank you very much, and listeners at home. Thank you for this opportunity once again. As to our expectations from Tinubu and Ubasani,
Yeah.
I would like to say it at this point that, without being self-serving, I am a little bit in the know about the two of them, in the sense that the two of them have something similar. They were fighters for the return of democracy.
Okay.
And in life, you give gold to those who know the value. Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I knew him at this Shalawa Crescent here, in the house of the late Ambassador Jordan Tanko.
Yeah.
That was where we formed Alliance for Democracy. And I was made the Assistant National Secretary for Northwest, in spite of being a Yoruba man, although it was strategic, because I was also an Assistant Public Secretary of NADECO, while Tinubu was the chairman of Ways and Means Committee of NADECO. So as he fought for NADECO, NADECO means National Democratic Coalition.
Yeah.
So he fought for return of democracy. Ubasani was in the lead of the foot soldiers with his SY friend, Shehu Sani. They were always together under the auspices of National Tranquility Movement. They were fighting for return of democracy. So when Ubasani gets this position and Tinubu gets this position, certainly their body language will be different from that of Baba Buhari, that was not prepared for democratic rule, nor that of Malam El-Rufai, who said he was an accidental public servant. And don't forget the aphorism that says, you give gold to those who know the value. So in my own expectation, I believe these two sons that are coming, both at the federal and at the state, they are people that knows the value of gold.
All right.
And they will not fail the people.
I'll come to Danjuma Abbas Dangwa now. Your expectations from Tinubu, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and also from Obasani in Kaduna State. Let's roll it up into one. Danjuma Abbas Dangwa. Danjuma, are you with us? Okay, maybe. All right, he's back now. Yeah, Danjuma.
I particularly believe that both. Yes, I'm right here and I'm following.
All right.
I particularly believe that yes, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is one person who has actually shown some level of skill and capacity in the way and manner with which he has managed Lagos, and also we've seen how the level of consistency in terms of development strides that have happened within the Southwest in the past 2 decades have some level of signature of his footprints in most of these states. Be it as it may, we've also seen that the man Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not someone who is averse to working with professionals, with competent hands, with competent individuals. We've seen him draw again people from various walks and backgrounds, diverse ethnic communities, to put them together to work around the development of Lagos State and of course some southwestern states. We have also seen how he's been quite instrumental again in maintaining alliances across the Nigerian geographical space as it is complete. And so such level of broad-mindedness is actually very critical to leadership. And then the fact that he has always worked with professionals, and some of the professionals that Bola Ahmed Tinubu have brought into public service have continued to remain relevant even till this day. So certainly you expect to see a government that is actually showing some level of responsiveness and competence. What would be the thing of concern is about accountability. And for that, I mean, we cannot expect also the person who is sitting for the exams to be his own examiner. And so citizens must roll up their sleeves and ensure that government is not just competent and responsive, but it is also in every way accountable to the people. And then I also do not see Tinubu's administration as one that is going to increase the burden of debt that we have already we are witnessing today. I see a government that is going to be more deliberate at improving the resource base of the nation and also responding urgently to the needs of the citizenry. As for Kaduna State, a lot of times I've listened to the expectations that even the incumbent is having concerning the successor. But one of the major things I want to say, I believe, is that Ubasani is a Kaduna homeboy. Ubasani knows Kaduna, nearly all of the zones in Kaduna. Ubasani has participated actively as a unionist from undergraduate level up to the time that he ventured into politics. And we've seen most of his efforts have been within the democratic space. And so that counts for something. And then he is also not alone, having the fact that the deputy governor again is also a seasoned administrator who has also had her own grounding within the past 4 years in this capacity as deputy governor. And she, in so many ways, complement what we hope to see as a competent public in Kaduna State, and also very quality service delivery in terms of critical sectors like education, healthcare, environment, even this issue of water that I've continued to harp upon. But again, we also will just hope that the citizens in Kaduna are also being up and doing and in ensuring that we have also an accountable government.
All right.
But be it as it may, the foundations for most of these things have been laid already by both President Muhammadu Buhari and also El-Rufai, Nasir El-Rufai at the state level.
All right.
So leveraging on most of these innovative that have come to be, we just have high hopes that perhaps we're going to have, again, competent, responsive government at both federal and state level in the state. But one of the things that is most critical is not really the executive again. It is also about the legislative arm of government, which is now going to also be enjoying some level of financial autonomy because it has now been passed as part of the Constitution Amendment. So that for me says that when we have a government that is not competent, that is not responsive, that is not accountable, all eyes on all hands will have to now turn to accusing a legislative arm of government that is failing in the duties of oversight, representation, and legislation.
All right. Danjuma Abbas, let's see if we can take one call before we wrap up the program. 0809-799-1989 is the number to dial. And as we expect that call, we'll come to Otumba Olufolorunsho to give us his parting shots because we're actually out of time.
Thank you very much once again. My parting shot goes thus. I want to assure Nigerians in general, and Kaduna citizens, that the Egypt they saw today, they will certainly see them no more because of the characters of the two people that are coming, both at the federal and at the state level.
Yeah. And
just as I said, that it is always good to give good to those who know the value, that have struggled, not only struggled, suffered. Tinubu has to leave Nigeria to exile because of June 12 advocacy. Similarly, Ubasani was detained several times. And as I speak, Ubasani is the only person taking care of the Ganifa Wemi family till today. Yes, he's the only person sending monthly allowance to the Ondo home of Ganifa Wemi's. You understand? So I believe the person and the personalities of the people coming are quite different from those that are living. And I'm assuring Nigerians that the Egyptians they have been seeing, they shall see them no more.
All right, and to Danjuma Abbas, Dangwa, your parting shot in 1 minute.
Well, the fact remains that the beauty of democracy it is the fact that it's centered around the citizen. And a citizen who takes his role, responsibility, and duties seriously will contribute significantly to the kind of governance, leadership, and service delivery we get. And so, as citizens, let me say that it still boils down to what we are willing to come together to do in speaking in one accord that our issues will remain unemployment, addressing unemployment, issues around climate change, social amenities, all the dividends of democracy that we so public service delivery. Accountability will not come accountability will not happen, and it won't come until we close ranks together to take.
Danjuma Abbas Dangwa, we lost you, and with that we are coming to the end of the program this evening. Appreciating the production team, Nifemi Oniboyo, Sehi Adon, and of course the production manager Sarah Adon. I say a very big thank you to Danjuma Abbas Dangwa and also to Olufolorunsho for being my guest on the program today. We'll be on, God willing, on Tuesday next week, and we will be doing a welcome into the new administration. Between now and then, I say a very big thank you. My name is Ehis Adon, and like I always would say, continue to shine like the star that you are. You can go to the Google Play Store and search for the Procyon Radio and TV app, and you can get the very best of everything, all wrapped up and rolled up in one bundle. Plant a tree today, water it, and watch it grow. But